What if, while fishing one day, you reeled in a strange object, fish, or another organism that shocked you so much that you nearly had a heart attack? Many anglers have had similar experiences, so we've included their tips for maintaining safety and vigilance while casting. Hello everyone, and welcome to another video. Today we'll be looking at fishers couldn't believe their eyes when they saw what was happening 6 miles offshore. Yeah, you heard it right. Old school fishing. As children on a deep sea fishing trip, we had to shell clams for bait all the way to the mackerel fishing spot. This leatherback old man was seen filing a massive 3-prong hook with clams and tying it to his station wagon with the same standard yellow thread used to secure a canoe. The enormous line spool continues to drop further and further. Suddenly, he stopped letting it fall, wrapped it around his forearm, and began jiggling roughly every 5 seconds while smoking a large, nasty cigar. 15 minutes later, I heard this individual shouting "Newfoundlandese" to the deckhand. They began reefing the sail. After an eternity, I noticed a spiraling tail winding around the line and growing fatter. When all was said and done, it was a 15-foot eel with a microwave-sized head. Ugly as sin, yet incredibly unforgettable. Time to cut your losses. We were fishing in Texas from the edge of a 30-foot high emergency spillway. We were using deep sea poles since we frequently catch catfish weighing 50 to 80 pounds and have to haul them to the shore. I clashed with a friend for over 2 hours over something really large. We realized it's a 7-foot alligator when we eventually hauled it out of the water and halfway up the bank. Just now, we cut the line. Catch a kid. I was surf casting near a location frequented by surfers, but not where the waves broke to avoid them. This 10-year-old girl runs directly in front of my fishing line and paddles directly out to where I was fishing. I ultimately hooked her, and her screams might have raised the dead. I thought to myself, oh no, this maniac is gonna rip me a new one, as I saw a large man start rushing towards me. He arrives without even looking at me and immediately begins shouting at his daughter, "What did I tell you about paddling in front of fishermen?" His wife walks over and has a tantrum with me, and he simply immediately hushed her up by stating something along the lines of, "How the bleep is this his fault? I've cautioned her not to paddle in front of a fisherman. You just need to be quiet." I was astonished, then he simply looks at me and says, "I'm sorry man, but it was in no way your fault. Good fishing." Bones in the deep. A friend of mine was fishing approximately 200 yards off the coast of Texas when he raised the anchor. He observed something dangling from it. A closer inspection revealed it to be a human femur. Well, back in the day, the mafia did have a reputation for causing people to vanish in those waterways, so he initially believed it to be the result of one of their crimes. After presenting the bone to an archaeologist at a nearby university, it was found that the bone's coloring and coral development indicated that it had been in the ocean for around 500 years. I have no idea what happened to the bone after that. The best I've ever done was the front halves of a fish after the back half had been devoured by a shark. This occurs while waiting, so it is initially a little unnerving. The box. I was 9 miles out tuna fishing when a little parachute unexpectedly landed in the ocean near my boat. We collected the box that was linked to the parachute. Despite the fact that neither land nor other vessels were visible, it was an NOAA weather monitoring box and a weather balloon's leftovers. On the envelope was the statement, "Postage paid, please place an outgoing mail." Years later, when hunting with companions, I discovered a second identical box on a parachute that had become entangled in a tree. To catch a pole, my friend cast out a line before crossing the pond to retrieve something from his vehicle. He failed to properly anchor his pole. Now that he's across the pond, he catches a large fish. His pole gets dragged into the water by the fish. His friend is quite sad since he was given his grandfather's old pole before his grandfather went away. There is no evidence of the pole floating or being entangled with anything. We concluded that the pole was irretrievably lost. So my friend sets up a new line, and 5 minutes after casting it out, he gets a bite, and guess which fish he caught? As he reels in this 8-pound catfish, we observe 2 lines emanating from its mouth and then another fishing pole. So that's all from today's video. If you enjoyed it, remember to leave a like, subscribe, and ring that bell icon so that you never miss our upcoming videos. And don't forget to share your thoughts in the comments section down below. Stay tuned, and we'll catch you in the next video.